Dear Chosen One, I'm so glad that you are here today. I'm so glad that the universe has chosen both me and yourself to be here today. Remember, you are powerful beyond measure, and that is why you are watching this video right now. You want to know, why is it that most chosen people, why is it that we suffer from the so-called the imposter syndrome? You see, many of us have realized, although some of us have not yet realized, but will realize after the end of this video, that we suffer from the imposter syndrome. Many of us do, and there is a reason to this, why we suffer from the imposter syndrome. But before that, let me explain to you the 5 types of imposter syndrome that we have. First, you have what we call the superhero. Now, a superhero is the person who, as a chosen one, they relentlessly do things that exceed their own strength. What am I saying? They all the time ensure that they do things that are even overpowering their own mind, overpowering their own physicality, their own mentality, their own spirituality sometimes. Because you must understand, the imposter syndrome merely means that this thing is an imposter, and it imposes its will and its syndrome upon you, upon your character as a chosen one. Now, if you have the imposter syndrome in a type of a superhero, you always do things that exceed your own limit, that exceed your own power, thereby disturbing and imposing upon your well-being, imposing upon your balance as a chosen one. And another type of imposter syndrome that we have upon chosen ones is that you find yourself being a natural genius. And yes, people, we all know that as a chosen one, well, the universe has already given you wisdom above your own understanding. You are a natural genius. Now, the imposter syndrome attacks you at a point of your geniusness in a way that it makes you want to learn everything and be in the know with everything. It makes you want to become a genius in almost everything. And that is an impossibility in itself. But the imposter syndrome, when it attacks a chosen one, it makes you believe that you have the power to learn everything and to master everything. And once you become attacked by the imposter syndrome in that regard, you begin to see that your well-being and your balance becomes destabilized. Another form, which is the third type or the other form of the imposter syndrome, which attacks many of us as chosen ones, is that you want to become an expert. Yes, you want to become an expert in everything. You want to become an expert even in things that do not engage you and build you as a chosen one upon this universe. And that becomes problematic because when other people start to realize that, hey, this person is actually not an expert in that, but is trying to become an expert, it actually degrades you as a chosen one. It actually brings you to the point of low vibration, low energy, low spiritual awakeness, and low mentality, because now you begin to see yourself as degraded among people, because you constantly want people to see you as an expert, and which you are not. You cannot be an expert in everything as a chosen one. But what you can be an expert in is you realizing your true potential and realizing your power, and that you are powerful beyond nature, and that we are at a minority in the world. There's not a lot of chosen ones. So you must realize that you are powerful. You don't need to become an expert in everything. And the imposter syndrome attacks us in that regard, seeking us to be experts in everything. Now, the fourth kind, or the fourth type of an imposter syndrome, which is the second last type of an imposter syndrome, is that you find yourself trying to be a perfectionist. Yes, most of us as chosen ones, we are perfectionists in nature. It's our natural form. We desire to be perfect in everything. Everything we lay our hands on, we most certainly desire it to be perfect. We most certainly want it to be perfect. We most certainly want it to be appealing to the eye, not just our eyes, but everybody's eyes. And that becomes a problem because the imposter syndrome, once it attacks you from that point or that regard of you being a perfectionist, there's going to come a time, there's going to come a day where you do something and you see it not being as perfect as you would wish it to be. And then you become depressed and your well-being is therefore attacked. My message to you as a perfectionist and as a chosen one is that you realize that you will not be perfect at everything. Everything you do will not be perfect. Hey, the world we live in right now, realize that light bulb, it's not always perfect. And it will never be perfect. Now, the last type of imposter syndrome that we suffer from as chosen ones is that we become soloists. You become a soloist. You want to do everything by yourself and in your own time by yourself. And you become a soloist in the sense that you alienate everybody. You terrorize other people. You see them as terrorists in your own world, in your own universe. You see them as people invading your territory. You become a soloist to the point that you want to do every project alone, even in projects where you need a helping hand. You want to be a soloist, even where you need other people to succeed. As a chosen one, you have to realize that we are people and we build communities. We build societies, we build groups, and everything is better if we do it together. Now, as a chosen one, I want to tell you, break that mentality of becoming a soloist, because that is not you. That is an imposter syndrome attacking you. Because once you become a soloist and something does not gel or work properly in your favor, you become depressed, therefore balancing is lost. Therefore, your well-being and your potential being balanced, your vibration vibrating at a higher energy, vibrating at a higher point of living, is therefore attacked. You see me right now, I am sun gazing people. I am outside. I am taking the reflections of the sun because I understand I am a chosen one. And this is how I fight the imposter syndrome. Because you see, sun gazing also makes me remember that, hey, there's something bigger than myself. There's something hotter than myself. There's something brighter than myself. There's something more beautiful than myself. And this is how I attack and challenge all these 5 types of imposter syndromes, is that I connect with nature and I realize that, hey, you are not all that. You are not a superhero. You are not a natural genius. Mother Nature is a genius because, hey, Mother Nature created you. You are not an expert in everything. Mother Nature is. You are not a perfectionist. Hey, Mother Nature is perfect, thereby creating you in the universe. You are not a soloist. Mother Nature is a soloist. For the Big Bang happened in its soloist form, and Mother Nature created itself out of nothing. So as chosen ones, it's time that we stop suffering from the imposter syndrome. And this video has shed light upon that. Do yourself a favor. Before you leave this video, subscribe to the channel. And always remember that as you face the world day by day, you as a chosen one, you are powerful beyond measure.